All right, I'm here with Stevie. All right, how you doing?
How you doing?
You want to just say a little bit about, how old you are, where you're from,
Sure,
stuff like that?
absolutely. I'm originally from South Africa. I immigrated to America because my family first came here. I was in high school, a really good school. I went to the National School of Arts in Johannesburg, and I traveled for 2 years after that. Traveled the world, backpacked. And then after that, I decided to come here and go to college. My dad said, if you want to study further, come here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. Come to America.
Mm-hmm.
Went to college here, Temple, met a guy, fell in love.
Okay, yeah.
And he introduced me to the wonderful world of North Philly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, did you party in South Africa before you came here?
I did. But
Hard drugs or?
Hard drugs, but it was... Our thing back then, like in the 90s, was all hallucinogenics, like acid,
right,
and a little bit of coke, mostly, weed, things like that. But it was never anything like this. I will tell you this, I did shoot heroin one time. I was 16 years old. I didn't even know what it was that I'd been given. Completely forgot about it. I mean, I loved it, but I completely forgot about it, because my other thing was, going to nightclubs.
Right.
We had two main nightclubs, The Doors and Alcatraz.
That's what
and that, I was totally into goth back then, and that's where I went to go party, and the dealers were there, bright, not bright and early, but there when the club opened up. You went to the VIP section, you bought your drugs, and you tripped out all night.
Right. I don't think hallucinogenics are bad at all. I'm a proponent of the hallucinogenics. I still like to take mushrooms every once in a while.
Yeah, I still love my ecstasy. Yeah.
All right, so, around what year did you move to Philly?
When I came here, let's see, I was about 20 years old. So... It was, but I came back and forth because I told you I was traveling, I was backpacking. Right. But when I finally settled here, it was 2000. Okay. And then I went to Temple. I first worked because I had a work visa at first, and I worked for 7 months, and then I went to school. So I applied to college.
And then you said your husband at the time or whatever, the guy...
Well, my boyfriend in college.
Boyfriend in college, and he introduced you to the North Philly hard drugs.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Yeah.
And I fell in love.
Almost everybody does it, comes down here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Scary. So you were down here for the regular H days before the fentanyl and all that.
Regular heroin. Absolutely. Now, and I was here for the changeover.
Now, that's what I wanted, because this is fascinating me. How did you recognize the changeover when it was happening?
Absolutely. And at that time, I don't know if I should mention what corner I was going to.
You can, yeah.
I'd rather not, if that's okay. But it was, near Cambria, and the main change was happening there, but my favorite dope was still there. So they had the regular heroin, and then where it was one block down where the main change in the dope was happening, and it was both. So if you like both, you could get both.
Right.
And so it was still very few places where you could get just like fentanyl.
Right.
We hadn't heard of Trank yet.
Right.
Trank hadn't entered into the picture yet. Never even heard it. And when the regular heroin wasn't there, you're like, oh, fuck, you gotta get this. And we put up with it. And I don't know how they did it, but they switched us over to the point where it was so smooth and so slick. And before we knew it, we were all fucking asking for fentanyl. And it was about over the course of 2 years, and then none of us could do regular H.
Wow.
It wasn't happening anymore.
That's so scary.
And then one day we tried doing regular H, and we got all excited when it was brown and and we break out in hives, and then it's not even getting you high. I might as well be shooting sugar.
Yeah.
What the fuck, And I was there, and then we were asking for fentanyl.
Wow.
And then the Trank entered the picture, and now we're shooting purple shit. Who would have thought, huh?
Yeah, like I said, I literally left
at that
active
time.
addiction 2016. It was right before fentanyl really hit here. So this is all new and wild to me. And I took a picture of a girl's syringe, and it was purple. and people like search out that stuff now. Is that what you're saying? Like,
oh, absolutely. I ask for purple dope all the time.
Now, when you first walked up here, I heard you, the other girl I'm going to interview, hopefully. I heard you asked where and you were looking out. So you want the one with xylazine in it now?
Yes, I do.
So you actually like
the one that's eating me up from the inside out.
Yeah.
I don't want the xylazine, but I do look for trank, and one comes with the other. I think what probably is what the trank is xylazine. I don't know if it's an additive or not, or if xylazine actually is itself just trank. I haven't researched that part
yet.
The
tranquilizer's name that they use is xylazine.
Is xylazine, yeah.
It's a wonder drug in the equine industry, the horse industry.
Yes,
it's a wonder
made
drug
for animals.
Well, what it does is it sedates an animal, but
the size of a horse.
But they sleep standing up. That's the important part. They don't fall over when they're sedated.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
that's
fascinating. Why. So that's why.
That's why we bend over. We do the Kensington yoga.
Absolutely, isn't that crazy?
Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt. I always wondered about the zombie effect. Always wondered why.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah, that's why they use it on horses and stuff, because and bigger animals, because and they gotta operate on them.
I've been asleep. I fell asleep last night with my eyes open. The guy I was with thought I was dead. So I imagine, yeah.
And okay,
it just knocks you out, but everything is still going.
You were saying outside how bad you have a really bad sore on your arm.
Yes, I do.
Now that's from shooting up there.
Yes, and it's from the trank. And what happens is, because it eats flesh, you are not meant to shoot that tranquilizer every day. It's meant to be used, and even fentanyl, it's given to cancer patients. In extreme cases, people that are in their end days, and like hospice situation, and they give them fentanyl because there's nothing else. Even Oxy's not going to do it anymore. Right. And they've been doing Oxys for years, fighting this cancer. Yeah. So they give them fentanyl. They get to die anyway. So they're pretty much allowed to have whatever they want. But the trank, that is given to animals on a racetrack, and it's used also in extreme cases. And it's definitely not meant for human use, and it's definitely not meant to be used every day. Right. So many times a day. Yeah. So now, are you going over and over in that same spot? Is that why it just stays in such an My veins shut down. Okay. And because what the trank does is it collapses your veins, and then you can't shoot there, and then it also eats your flesh. So that's what the eating flesh effect is.
And now, for you to go into detox right now, you have to fix your arm first, right? To open sore?
I'm not sure about that because I haven't tried.
Yeah, well, that's what that's now normally how it works.
I do know, if cops see it, they're not interested in even touching you and arresting you, because, it's nasty. Yeah. I don't blame them. Yeah. Now, so how long have you been dealing with that open sore for? About 4 years. Oh my! I had it on both arms, and then I healed my left. But I've had cases all over my body, like a boil on my foot, from missing. My neck blew out like this, and the doctor said 2 more days you would have been brain dead because I was so septic. They saved my life at Temple, and actually many times. And it just literally eats you up. Wow. Like a flesh-eating disease. There's no flesh there, and eventually even the muscle starts to deteriorate and collapse. One of the girls, Jessica, I interviewed, she smelled like a dead body. Yeah, from her, the smell is unbearable from her, if you don't keep it clean. Because her whole calf muscle was gone. It was shocking. I've had friends that have had amputations, and still keep shooting, and people that have it and still keep shooting in the same spot over and over and over again. And, they don't care. They don't try to get help. They don't go to wound care. They don't try to keep it clean. They just don't give a shit, and they're about to lose their limb. And now the wound care won't treat it because as soon as they leave, they're just going to shoot back up in the same spot. They do. Yeah. I see a wound care nurse 3 times a week sometimes. Oh, okay. Oh, and they will kind of help your arm? Absolutely. They got stuff that makes the flesh grow back, everything. But you have to stop shooting in that area.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard because, like I say, it makes your veins collapse.
Yeah.
And then that's the only place that you can go. Because for some reason, when the flesh is growing back, there's a rich flow of blood right beneath it. So even though you technically skin popping or muscle popping,
it's still going into the bloodstream.
There's like just a rich source in some areas, and it goes straight in. It burns like hell sometimes.
Yeah.
But you gotta do what you gotta do. Nobody wants to be around throwing up and shitting on themselves all day. I'm sorry, excuse my language.
No, it's that. And I hear the withdrawal now with fentanyl is so much worse than...
Like I said, it was giving people... I've had 3 friends of mine have heart attacks. Say this outside, Yes. Had
3 friends.
3 friends had heart attacks. One went into precipitated withdrawal. 2 of them were trying to get clean desperately and trying to do it on their own. Okay, so
probably from the withdrawal they had a heart attack because of the withdrawal. Wow.
Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
It's a scary thing you guys are going through down here.
Absolutely.
Now, have you tried? When was the last time you tried to get clean, or do you even want to get clean? Are you some people?
I absolutely want to get clean.
Okay.
But I mean, subs only go so far, and then you fall off, and it was designed for real heroin. It wasn't really designed for this. Yeah. And you got to wait 3 days. By that time, I've had a heart attack and I might be dead.
Right.
So it's not like real heroin, where actually, if you were, I guess because you're young enough or whatever, but you could take it the next morning. They say wait 3 days. Yeah. That's optimum. But I've taken it the next day and I was perfect.
Yeah, I've done Suboxone pretty...
I took you back to day 1, the day before you ever touched this shit.
Yeah. Well, so basically it's just the fear of the withdrawal and going into detox and all that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any positive support in the Philadelphia area if you were to get clean?
Yes, I do.
So there are positive people you could reach out to?
Absolutely.
So that's like the conundrum with being an addict. You know what you do, you have to do. You know where to go to do it.
But getting it done.
That's it. Took me 18 years.
And once you get it done, staying clean.
Yep.
It's the hardest thing in the worworld.
100%.
But now they're realizing, that's why they're doing so much with housing and psych meds and trying to help people mentally with PTSD because of the trauma, and then especially even living out here.
Oh,
it's
the trauma
so
you guys go through down here.
You have no idea. I saw a psychiatrist and he really took his time with me. And for the first time, I really spoke to somebody that was educated in the field that wanted to help me.
Right.
And he took 2.5 hours of me. The time just flew by, and he just got me into this thing of talking and telling him everything that I've been through on these streets. I'm sorry, it makes me want to cry. And he took his time with me, and for the first time he said to me, you know what? You don't suffer with just like one type of PTSD. He's like, you have multiple traumas. And it explains so much about my behavior and the weird things that I do, because a lot changes. So
yeah, that's what people don't understand is trauma is a huge thing that addicts go through.
Back.
Yeah,
and if you don't have housing and a support or someplace to go, like they would put us back on the streets if we got clean.
Yeah,
we had nowhere to go. It was the same bullshit, and then you run into friends, you run into situations, and the people you love get tired of your shit. You can't blame them, and eventually you would go back. But now they're realizing, so many people I know that I used to get high with that would it was a rotating door, jail, rehab ordered, just constantly. It was a constant wheel going round and round, and it seemed like it was never going to end for them. Have stayed fucking clean because of housing, number 1, and getting help, emotionally and mentally. It's amazing.
I think one of the most important things you need to do is mental health.
There's one person that I'm thinking of right now. It just blows my mind. I mean, she's been clean for years now. Her kids are back in her life. That's the one person I would have said, never, ever, this girl's going to die out here.
Wow.
But it just blows my mind. And she's been clean now for years. And she's happy. And she's got my cat.
Oh, you got your cat? Yeah. Well, at least your cat's being loved.
Yeah, he's huge now. But he's one of the kittens out here that I rescue. So.
Oh yeah. I just watched a documentary about the stray cat problem in Philadelphia.
Oh really?
500,000 of them.
Get out of here.
Half a million.
Yeah, I'm a kids and rescue.
I love them. I love cats.
them.
They're the best.
And they're drawn to me, you know. And people say black cats are a bad omen. When black cat crosses my path, within 40 minutes, I promise you I'm getting money.
I got 2 of them at my house right now, black cats. I love them. Yeah.
Love them.
And you were saying you stay in a shelter, right, at night?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's no rules. It's wonderful. They feed you. You have your own area. You know, you're for the most part surrounded by people that you care about. You know.
So you feel safe there and all that.
Yeah, and the people that work there are amazing, and they truly do care, and they're great. They really are.
I wonder if is it Harley stay there? Girl named Harley.
I don't.
No.
Even if she used a real name, I want to know.
Yeah.
But there's been such a turnover.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so many new faces that I can't tell you.
No, I get it. No, but she was staying at a shelter down here, and she was saying the same stuff about because a lot of them are scary to go to the shelters.
Right.
So it's good you're
Absolutely.
in a good spot.
You did. Some of them. It used to be that it was less safe than staying on the streets. That's why we never went in it.
Going into the shelter. Yeah.
Absolutely. It was less safe. This is absolutely safe.
Okay, that's good.
And you're warm. You're not dying. You know, in cold blue conditions. Or waking up with hypothermia. You know, trying to get through it. You got a place to go. You got an actual toilet to use. You got a place to shower and stay clean.
That's so
Nurses
important.
come to you. Doctors come to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know. They come and find you. Housing comes and finds you. They look for you. If you're not around and they don't find you, like I said, I missed my one appointment. And they will find you.
So explain that right now. You are in the process of getting housing right now.
Right now.
And how'd you do that? Where'd you get that program through?
Okay, that's through the shelter. You get into the shelter. All right. First, you got to contact Outreach, and Outreach will help you get into the shelter, and then. Once you've done that, you get a caseworker, and the caseworker does everything, whatever you need.
Okay. Wow.
They start working on your case.
Right. Okay.
They're magicians.
Okay. So
I think so.
So
anyway.
how long ago did you first start the process for the housing?
Like I said, well, I'm a little older. So
So now do you get a
I've
housing
been running
quicker?
these streets off and on, getting clean, having bouts of clean time, whether it was years, months, or weeks or days, and it's been about 20 years. So I had 9 years clean time in between, you know, but for the most part I've been running the streets for 20 years. So you can add that on. Excuse me. I'm sorry, what was the question?
No, I said, so when did you, no, it's okay. When did you initially start the process for that housing that you're...
Right, so I actually started consciously every time I saw the Outreach van, because they drive around and they look for people in need and help that want it. And you give them your name, you give them your social security, you give them your birthday. And once you got so many hits, like I don't know how much it is. Okay. I think I had about 30.
They have to talk to you a certain amount of times.
Yeah, they give you what you need, like if you need supplies, if they have it, and you know, they're wonderful people, and they take your name and your information. You know, like I said, and then once you had so many hits, and you know, you got into the shelter.
Okay.
And they came and they got you. You know, the Outreach people, once they found you, like walking around or getting high or whatever, you're like, yo, there's a bed. Come on, let's go.
Okay. And once you got the bed, it's your bed there then?
It's yours.
Okay.
You get a locker, you get 3 gigantic bins, you get, and you can get in.
Now, you can't get high in there, right?
No.
So that's the one.
But if you are high, they deal with you.
You can go home high if you need to or whatever.
Yeah. No, they don't condone. You know,
no, I just a lot of people
but they're there for you.
A lot of people are skeptical about the shelters because they got to stay in there too long without getting high, and they might get sick or something.
No, it doesn't work that way. They realize the problem and the reason there was a turnstile,
right,
you know, and that wheel going round and round. They have addressed those problems, and they have actually been successful in dealing with them. It's wonderful.
Okay. All right. Well, it's been about a 20-minute interview. I really appreciate talking to you. It's been an eye-opener. I really wish you the best. I hope you give sobriety a chance, you know, at some point.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I wish you the best. I wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you.